guess who gets to go to hospital again? This guy.
Welcome to Multiple Nerdgasm with your hosts, Matt, Luke, and Dan. Multiple Nerdgasm, your guide to all things nerdy.
You get all the good stuff.
They're resetting you again?
They're resetting me again. And I'm actually going to try and record from hospital.
Okay.
Oh,
that'll be interesting.
Well, if I recall last time you went in, you didn't even remember that Dan had visited you.
No, but while I was there, he was in this kind of blissful oblivion. So I think it probably is worth it for us to have drugged up Luke on the podcast.
Why the fuck not? Yeah.
Because, this time I'm going in on a Thursday, so I'll definitely be in over the weekend. So I'll take my equipment and I'll set it up and we'll see what happens.
Fucking hell. All right.
So that's on the...
I don't know why the word equipment seemed dirty when you said it, but it did.
So I go in on the 14th of December. So still got time.
Okay.
Still definitely here for the next few weeks.
Just a weekend?
I'll be probably 6, 7 days.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Just to top up before Christmas.
Very good. Very good. So this is an ongoing thing, obviously.
Yes.
Now, still?
Yep. So my painkillers have actually dropped quite a lot. So my head's a lot clearer and stuff.
Yeah.
But
That's great.
Pain starts to creep up and then they just book me in and fill me full of horse tranquilizer.
Do you tell them when you need it, or is it like a timed thing?
I tell them when I need it.
Okay.
Like I go, even I was explaining to the professor at work, even work have noticed, I'm starting to...
I was telling the professor how to do his job.
Yeah, that's right.
No, but I've been quite good. But then
there's a professor at your work? I don't know where you work, clearly.
Yeah.
No, my pain specialist is a professor.
Sure.
And I was telling him, even work have noticed that, because I went back to full time and my work are going, you want to go back to a 9-day week because they can start noticing that I'm
a 9-day
week.
That's intense.
A 9-day
2 extra days.
I want to go back to a normal human week.
Yeah. Mind you, you could take that in two ways. If people started saying to me, Dan, you don't need to come in some days. Yeah.
I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's right. Will you be paying me less? Or
yes, that's the other part. They pay you less.
Yeah, yeah.
Which I don't want that because I like to waste all my money on stuff.
A lot of Xbox stuff on sale, I noticed today.
There is
a few things.
Look, it doesn't affect me because I can't even remember the last time I put on my Xbox. I mean, I can, but it was one day, and before that, it was months.
Last thing I played was Starfield, and I haven't touched that.
I finished Starfield, and I haven't been back to that. It just didn't grip me. Alan Wake is great, though.
I believe it. Yeah,
really good.
I've heard it's very good. Yeah.
It's also cool. They've got the actor who played Max Payne in it, so he's just sort of the FBI.
Oh, and he plays a cop. Okay, so
that's
you
great.
can, that's great. You can still kind of pretend that this is just what he's doing now.
But they have definitely tied this into Control and what was that other game they made?
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break. It's now very much. This is definitely 100% shared universe.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they've leaned into it a little too much, though. They've sort of I think in Control there was a DLC with Alan Wake in it and stuff, but this one
what's there?
It's a federal control in it, and I think they've gone a little bit too far. I think it would have been nice to ease into it a little bit
Control
more.
Was a great game.
It was
very imaginative, but I didn't liken it to Alan Wake in any way other than the obvious connection. But I also played. Yeah, I guess I played most of Alan Wake thinking that you weren't really meant to know if this was real or if he was going mad. And then kind of at the end, they kind of leaned into, no, it's real. He's really in another dimension now.
It's not a lake, it's an ocean.
Sorry?
It's not a lake, it's an ocean.
That's right, sure. But, the fact that now they're just like, and Quantum Break and is incorporated in, and it's like magic is real now.
That's just part of the universe. It's not saying it's... But so Alan Wake, it's sort of set 13 years after the first game, which is when the last game came out. And...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's sort of following on from there, and I'm only a little bit in, but I'm enjoying it.
How did they know when they were going to release it?
Amazing.
Oh, when they started writing it. No, they had to wait. They wrote it the year after, but he wrote 13 years in his
done
upgrade.
for
Yeah.
10 years.
Oh, guys. So just completely, just the random shit that pops into my head during the week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Christian Bale,
Yep.
right? The actor.
Batman.
Yes. That one. Yeah, right.
The excellent, the most excellent Christian Bale actor, right?
Christian Bale's all right, isn't he?
Yeah, he's all right. Unless you get on his bad side or
Yes.
you're a reward that he doesn't like.
La.
He will choke you in a restaurant. Oh, no, wait, that was someone else. What did he do? He punched his sister. Anyway.
Oh, he did too, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Who hasn't punched their sister?
I've punched your sister, Luke, but she was being a bitch. No, I adore
Shout
your
out
sister.
to Luke's sister. Probably listening to this and going,
she might be. She's part of the multiple Nerdgasm family, as well as just being part of Luke's actual family.
Yes.
So he played John Connor in one of the Terminator films, right? Terminator Salvation, I believe.
Correct.
Not the best Terminator film, but arguably probably the
bad.
best performance of a John Connor, right?
It's pretty good. It was.
I was thinking about it this week. Yeah, I didn't mind it, right?
Mm.
And then it occurred to me, Christian Bale is within 2 years of age with Mr. Edward Furlong. He could have played John Connor in Terminator 2.
Yeah. That's
Imagine that.
But
Imagine
then
if they had had the foresight.
He was in a Japanese prison camp back then when he was.
Yeah, that's right.
But then maybe
he escaped from that prison camp, Matt.
He did.
That's the whole point.
But then maybe he would have gotten overweight and into drugs and gone off the rails.
Yeah, we can only hope. And he did get overweight a couple of times, but he did that on purpose.
Yes, that was for a role, not just
that man's weight fluctuates more than mine, for Christ's sake.
But he gets paid to do it,
control that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but I plan to do it. That's the difference, Danny.
Oh, so do I. It's just I don't get the roles.
Now, I don't know if you saw this. There's an article I really want to talk about, what I found very confusing this week. So there's this YouTuber out there called The Completionist. And
yes, I did see this.
Yeah, so his mother passed away years ago and had Alzheimer's, and then he started a charity for her, sort of raise money. And they've been raising money all this year, but they haven't donated the money.
They've been collecting money since 2019. Luke.
Yeah, they've got but the thing is, it's not one of these cases where they've taken the money and they've spent it and stolen it. It's just sitting in a bank account. That's just the weirdest part about it.
But is it sitting in his personal bank account or in the charity's company bank account?
It's the charity in a way, right? So they took this money and they started a foundation. And the point of the foundation is supposed to be to donate the money to various, medical charities and all this kind of stuff. Right? The foundation is called the Open Hand Foundation, and it's owned by his family. So they did give the money to the foundation, and it's been sitting in the foundation's bank account. There is now almost 700 grand.
Yeah, there's.
Hold on. They set up a charity to donate to the foundation and the foundation.
They set up. So they started.
The charity and the foundation are owned by the same family.
It's called the Open Hand Foundation, and they did what's the thing they do called it's not like a charity event, Indie City or something it's called.
Yeah.
It's a thing they do every year. They do that, and all the money from it gets put into this foundation, and the foundation is supposed to distribute it to various charities.
Oh, I see. Right.
Except it's not been doing that. It's just been hoarding money like a dragon.
Because I saw this on Carl Jobs' channel. And
yes, I saw that too.
He had a chat to them, and they've gone. One of the things when he reached out first, they went, the reason why we haven't done it is before we went public with the foundation stuff, we donated body parts and stuff. And so that's got nothing to do with people getting money.
They said, could you elaborate on what you meant by that? And they just said, we're not really going to talk about it.
Don't worry.
Yeah. But even think, that would have been a personal thing. They probably donated their mother's body for research and stuff, which is a thing, but that's nothing to do with money you've raised since then.
It's a weird thing to mention, to be honest.
It's also a very weird way to put it if that was verbatim what they said.
Yeah.
Now, evidently,
that is what they said.
Yeah. And the guy who's sort of behind it, not behind the foundation, but behind raising money to Completionist, he only became aware of it last year. And then that they weren't donating money on, and he's kind of now we're actively looking. We're trying to find a good place to give it, because the place we did it originally, we weren't happy with what they were doing. But they've been still going out raising more money, going, we're donating all this money, but they're not.
What he said was there's 3 charities that they said they were going to give the money to, and they said when they looked into it, they were like, "Oh, we don't really want it just going to payroll for people who operate the charity. We want it to go towards research or something like that." And so they just didn't do anything.
Held on to
for 5 years or whatever,
saving up.
and then they were saying, "Oh, what should we do with it? What should we do with it?" And then like Carl and what's Ordinary Gamer, I forget his real name. The two of them, they were like, "Give it to the charities you said you were going to give it to. That people gave you the fucking money for. That's what you should do with it."
Because whatever the people thought they were donating to, that's what you should do with it. Even, in fact, that's what you're legally required to do.
Like even when he said he found out about Margie,
they've done nothing illegal. Which not the point, but might be true.
Borderline fraud, I would say.
But they ran it again this year and said, yes, we're donating it. So even after he supposedly found out about it, he still ran it again and went, we're doing this.
They've always said, we're giving it to these 3 charities, amongst others. And then,
but the weird thing is it's the money is still there.
Yeah, it's not that they're driving around in a Ferrari.
Yeah.
No, but it is like were they just waiting to get a certain amount and then just like
they want that
flee
cool
the country
million
or something
they,
weird like that, like
that's.
Or is it real? In which case, this is gonna really suck for them because it's got a lot of publicity now.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't think you're not going to be doing a lot next year. I think you sort of foundation is over because no one's going to trust you. Because if I donate money, I expect it to go to where you told me it's going. Pretty simple.
He himself, the completionist, said this. Now he's fucked because if he donates the money, no one's going to know whether it was because he got busted for something or if it was like really going to happen. So he's like, either way, he's fucked now.
Look, I actually believe that with the money still being there, I believe they were holding on it to donate.
I hope
but
that's
it's just
true. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Because to me, if you weren't going to do it, you would have spent it.
Yeah, or put it in an offshore bank account where they couldn't.
It's a long time to be like.
It is a long time.
5 years or 4 years, I guess. To be fair, 4 years. They couldn't figure it out in that time.
Like how hard would it?
They must have a plan.
The reason they found it out is because they checked their tax returns, right? Because it's a non-profit foundation, so you can view their tax returns online.
Right.
So they were looking into it, and it's every year they just kept amassing cash, right? Just their cash balance went up every year up to like nearly 700 grand. But they had some administrative costs coming out, but not like an alarming amount. Like between 10, 20 grand or something in the maximum years, which I guess if you're running the charity events to raise the money, that all makes sense. So it's like, it's not suspicious other than the fact that it's like, why do you still have this money?
Like I saw a few channels trying to claim, they're a bit sus with their administrative costs, not really saying what it is. And I'm going, no, it's not to me, it seems like a reasonable amount to.
I kept waiting for for Carl to say some egregious thing, and that never happened.
Yeah. So I think they were going a bit hard on that part of the story to say that they have taken a little bit.
But if they don't have a good answer for why didn't you give the charities the money, then
that's the big thing.
I still call foul on this.
Yeah, totally. That's what everyone's saying now. It could honestly just.
I'm not saying it was a deliberate scam, but what's going on? I think you've got the right to ask these questions.
And I think like maybe a year, like the first year you do it, the second year, like we did it, we haven't quite found.
Yeah, or we didn't.
Right.
We didn't meet our goals, and so
Yeah.
You having some trouble there, Hui? All right.
So I just want to discuss that because I just found that really weird. That story.
Yeah. No, I saw that too. I'd forgotten about it. Actually.
But what you said is true, though, is that this is tainted now. They're going to have to shut this whole thing down because that's the way things work now. With the internet, bad press. It's not like it used to be where there was a 24-hour news cycle. You're fucked now. If you've seen to be dodgy, you're dodgy.
And like that's a shame, but they have had 4 years to say something.
Yes.
Like if it was like a year later and they still had the money, you could go, we were just waiting. 2 years later, sorry guys, we still have 3 years, 4 years. It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You've basically been lying. Now.
Yeah. Look, there's another example of something that kind of is about reputations being spoiled this week, which is one of the actors from Wednesday has been sacked by the network and is not allowed back in the show because somebody took to social media and said, I knew that guy when I was a teenager. He was a creep. He was at a party I was at once and was pressuring this girl to sleep with him. and she was underage, and he was 20 or something. And they've sacked him.
Right.
Now, not only has he come out and said that didn't happen, but he's also asked the girl who was called out to tweet that didn't happen, and she did. She was like, "No, I don't know anything about this." And yet he's still off the show because bad press is bad press.
That's wild.
Now, that's all alleged. It may come out that there's more to it. It may come out that he's really a creep. But just from what I know, from what he has said, and from what I've read, he's going, what the actual fuck?
One of the things
it just really doubles down on why, just in this day and age, I just wouldn't want to be famous, you know?
I still want to be famous.
So they're saying, it says in here, I guess Jenna Ortega was on Armchair Expert, that Dax Shepard show that I can't listen to now because it's only on Spotify.
You don't want to listen to Dax Shepard, mate.
No, well, they have some
I
good
don't
guests on
mind
that
Dax
show,
Shepard.
but just for some reason,
if you want guests,
I use Spotify. I just won't listen to podcasts on there.
Yeah, no, neither would I. Really good guests and him just talking over the top of them. Yeah, sure. Listen to Dax Shepard. I can't.
You just mad because Danny Ricciardo was on there, and you fucking hate Danny Ricciardo.
I did not listen to that one, but I'd be happy for Dax Shepard. No, I like Daniel Ricciardo more than I like Dax Shepard. I'm going to put that out on the record.
Oh, okay, all right, good. Well, apparently her appearance on Armchair Expert was controversial because she spoke highly of him. Which,
because as far as she knows,
this all just seems a bit ridiculous. Especially if this girl has denied it. I guess we don't know. I don't know. Is there? Can we see the tweet? Like,
let's see.
It seems pretty definitive, doesn't it? Like, if she says it didn't happen, it didn't fucking happen. If the only person who says a thing happened is some third party that neither of the people know, I think we could probably ignore that. Right?
Yeah.
There is one thing.
I've got his tweet, but I don't have hers. So I'll just quickly read this and we can see if we can find. So, hi, everyone. There's something I need to clarify. This is the actor that's been accused.
Yeah.
Earlier this year, someone I've never met started a campaign of misinformation about me online. Because of this, my family has been doxxed and my friends have received death threats. Underage photos of me were used and examples of me acting in character was presented as hateful. My friend Jane was falsely portrayed as the victim, and her attempts to set the record straight have been ignored. She gave me permission to include her in this message. The rumors are false. I can't accept the portrayal of me as someone bigoted or criminally negligent for people's safety. That was something. Apparently, he was just being a fuckwit at some party. Baseless, harmful claims. Very distressing. Thankful for the people who stood by me. Yeah. So as far as Jenna Ortega knows, someone's just.
Look, the thing that I think
her friend
is about that, even with the response that people are doing, even if the allegations were even true, for them to go out and dox family, death threats to friends, how is that an acceptable response to
not
anything?
On people? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Also, how long ago is this supposed to have happened? Like, again, if he did something horrible, that doesn't matter so much, but it doesn't sound,
well, he's only 21, so it would have been recent.
What is he accused of doing? Just trying to get some girl to have sex with him?
Apparently they did have sex, but this third party
he's saying that didn't happen though.
Yeah, so
he's saying they had sex, but he's not saying. Well, he's not saying either way, but evidently it was just that he pressured her into
the user
it.
claimed,
and he's not denying it.
Yeah, so the user claimed in a series of since deleted tweets that White would allegedly give drugs to underage girls at parties in Toronto and would assault them or pressure them into sex
when
they were high or
deleted.
drunk. Yes,
this sounds like.
And this could all just be something that we go, okay, some dickhead was making up stories, but now they've deleted it and it's over. But he's been fired from the show. He is not in season 2.
Yeah, even if there is something there, this seems very wishy-washy.
Yeah. But I guess
really
Netflix, right? This must just be Netflix. I guess they just don't want the bad press. Yeah.
No wonder if Jonathan Majors has ruined the benefit of the doubt for everybody.
Yeah, but the thing is, hasn't Jonathan Majors hasn't that all just been cleared up now, or is that still going?
No, he's going to court. He's fucked. Yeah. And Marvel's had this. There was an article in Variety the other week talking about how Marvel have been scrambling around trying to figure out what to do because they can't put him in anything. And so they've got all these movies that he was supposed to be the fucking main villain in.
Mm-hmm.
And there was talk about how they were going to pivot and make Doctor Doom the new villain somehow, like try and we just got to do something. And then there were desperately talking about trying to get Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans,
They gotta
and
save this
Scarlett
franchise
Johansson
somehow.
back to do like a flashback movie or something because they're like, we just fucking have to do something.
Oh, right.
I've actually worked out what they need to do with the Marvel Universe.
Stop fucking making the movies.
Stop and start again.
But here's the thing, right?
Like you got to Endgame.
Yeah.
That was the end of that story.
Go back to Iron Man.
Stop.
It has the word end in it. Yeah.
And now go back and just start again from some other way.
You joke, Matt, but you wouldn't watch Iron Man 4 standalone, doesn't have anything to do with Avengers, just Iron Man 4?
Or just Iron Man, it's just a reboot.
Right.
Directed by Jon Favreau, starring Robert Downey Jr.
That's right. Well,
make it again. I am going with like brand new characters and just
Oh, they got plenty.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, like, go back to Iron Man, like, don't do the next generation type of thing. I'm handing over to S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well,
like
yeah,
that.
so speaking of which, a movie came out last week called The Marvels. I didn't even know about this movie. I didn't know they were making it. I didn't know it was released.
I knew about it. I nearly thought about seeing it.
It is the third worst ranked movie, according to Metacritic, out of the whole Marvel canon. Above only the Ant-Man that came out that none of us saw, because why would you bother? And the Eternals, which we saw and hated and vowed never to watch more Marvel movies.
I will say this: the Marvels has the unfortunate job of being the movie that is out now after all everything that's happened in the past 12 months. Because when was the last Marvel movie? Was it Doctor Strange?
I think it was Doctor Strange.
Guardians.
Was Ant-Man after that?
Oh yeah, Guardians Volume 3.
I still haven't seen Guardians.
But it's got. Remember, there was all that shit about Brie Larson when the Brie Larson, is that the right?
Yes,
yeah,
Brie
that's
Larson.
her name, right?
Yep.
Yeah. When the first one came out, everyone people don't like her. I guess.
Why don't they like her?
Because I don't know. People say it's sexist. I think for some reason people latched onto the fact that she's not people just don't like her personality, I guess. In interviews. People
she was a boring character, but it was hardly her fault.
People were super down on Brie Larson. I don't know if it's.
Watch Scott Pilgrim. She's great in that. Watch The Room. She's great in that.
That has no bearing on whether the movie's good or not. Whether she likes to be interviewed.
Watch Lessons in Chemistry. She's great in that. She
doesn't like being interviewed.
Oh yeah, I do want to watch that actually.
But it's got her. It's got the girl from Ms. Marvel.
Ms. Marvel.
I guess I never watched that.
And then
I didn't mind that actually.
And then it's the girl who was in the first Captain Marvel who got powers later in
the fighter pilot friend, right?
Yes, in the show. What's the show with Scarlet Witch and Vision? WandaVision.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's all a bit convoluted, and you've got these characters that I don't think anyone gives a shit about them. I think that's the problem. Is no one knows or cares who these characters are.
Well, absolutely. I mean, what was the one with Miss Marvel? No, with Captain Marvel? Was it just called Captain Marvel?
Yeah,
and it
Captain
had
Marvel.
Yeah, it had.
Fine. It was a fine movie.
Yeah, it was okay. It was the 90s one, right?
Stuff. It was good.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was fine.
She wore a Nin shirt.
Yeah, she had the 9 Inch Nails shirt, and then she had what's the Ben Mendelsohn as that fucking G'day, mate. I'm an alien.
Yeah, I'm an Australian alien.
Yeah, I'm an Auster alien.
Yeah, but when she was doing press for that, people were like, "No, I don't like Brie Larson for some reason."
Wow. I mean,
I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, this. Whatever. I mean, I'm sure there's a whole big population of people saying it's because there's only women in it in this one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be a thing.
That's definitely 100% a thing as well. But I don't know. So yeah, it's got terrible reviews. But the question is, did all those people actually go and see it, or is this just a result of people?
Look, I will go and see it this week, and I'll report back.
Okay,
cool
I would be interested
Marvel
to hear.
now.
Yeah, no,
since
that's
Endgame, people are like, it's almost, cool
no,
shit
but that's hardly yes and no, because I don't like any of the movies since Endgame. I think they're all really flogging a dead horse now.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, they should have just ended there.
I mean, Thor, because they're going off in space and doing something totally different. I will reserve judgment for Guardians because I haven't seen it.
I saw a review
was good.
Of
it looks good.
Taika Waititi's new film. So he's not doing any more Thor movies. And I saw a review of his new
film,
he's not. Next Goal Wins, the soccer one.
Oh, yeah.
And it said he's got, he generally either makes quite good movies or quite bad movies. This is his worst.
Oh.
I was like, oh, all right.
He's still working on his Star Wars movie.
Oh, yeah.
You know who's not working on a Star Wars movie? Kevin Feige. He's
I
out.
saw that. Yeah,
Really?
they canceled it.
Which one was his?
I don't
know
even remember.
Yeah, it's the Kevin Feige one. I think that's just
Yeah, I think that's Kevin Feige's Star Wars. No. There was some.
Has he ever directed anything? Or was this going to be his first thing? Because that's a pretty fucking epic first film. Oh, I mean, yeah, even George Lucas.
I mean,
his first film wasn't Star Wars. Like,
no,
I think he would have done.
Right, yeah.
He's probably done some of the TV shows. I'm guessing. Probably directed some of them. I'm going to guess.
Yeah,
Which, with how big they are, they're basically movies now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he's on set a lot, presumably, but it's like, does he know how to direct a movie?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's a janitor on set. It's not like they've gone, well, you've been the janitor on so many movies now.
He's doing a Star Wars movie too, Dan.
It is very easy to be a
Ryan
director.
Johnson.
You hold up a sign that says faster and more intense, and you're done.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was in the Philippines directing some TV show once, and this little girl actress said to me once, it was her first show that she was on, and like on the last day, she goes, "Oh, I know what a director does. They say action and cut." I was like, well, yeah, I guess.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah. I'm like, it's my fault if this is not very good. That's
Until you
my
get
job.
famous, and then you just kind of wave your hand and somebody else does it for you.
Yeah, that's right. Just when you, yeah. They learn to look at your expression and call it.
Yeah, he looks unhappy. Cut.
Yeah. Speaking of TV, I won't go into it because I did already tell you guys this offline. Bodies on Netflix. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I've got 2 episodes to go. If Dark, the Netflix show Dark, was about a murder in Whitechapel,
then
that's what Bodies is.
Interesting. All right.
Multiple timelines.
It was already on my list. I'll bump it to the top.
The funny thing was, I'd looked at it and decided not to watch it, and then my brother was like, "You got to watch this," and I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a second look."
I feel like a lot of stuff came out in the last couple of weeks. Because I watched a Netflix movie this week.
What did you watch?
Very good. I watched The Killer, which is David Fincher's new film.
Yes.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I didn't realize that was a Netflix movie.
Yeah, I was going to go see it at the movies. I was like, I'll go sit down and watch a Fincher film in the movies for sure.
But then they brought it to you.
We were like, let's just fucking watch it. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Not his best film, but it's good. It's interesting in that, because Trent...
What is his best film?
What is Fincher's best film? It's a good question. I don't know.
He makes good movies.
Girl with Dragon Tattoo is very good, but I haven't seen it in a while. Good. But I do like that.
There's a consistent quality across all of his films.
Yeah. I still think Fight Club's good. I know people...
I think Fight Club's great. I think Seven's great.
Movie.
I'd say Panic Room's his worst.
I forgot. Yeah, I was going to say Panic Room. I was
See,
going to say...
Although Benjamin Button is not my favourite either, but not because it's not good. It's just not really my favourite.
He's just good. Actually, there's...
Aliens 3.
See, I like Aliens 3.
So do I.
He doesn't, so...
No, he does not.
I think he would probably say that.
Don't
actually, no, he would just say, I didn't direct that movie. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just worked on it for a couple of days.
Yeah. So Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the soundtrack for The Killer. And
you might know them from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Yeah, so confused by that. But I mean,
know, man, that looks like a good one. I'm going to watch that.
Anyone who knows
it's out now too.
I fucking love Trent Reznor. I've got a signed record on the wall up there. Fucking love him. This soundtrack is like, you know when they say like a soundtrack shouldn't really be noticeable? It's fucking not. And when it finished, and I was like, I don't remember any of the music. And they're up for an award for it. And at first I was like, oh, really? But then I guess, like, because I was thinking, there wasn't like a memorable theme or anything, you know, that kind of thing. But then it's like, well,
maybe that's why.
I mean, the movie was good. Like, maybe I just need to reconsider what it did for the movie. You know what I mean? I've since...
Oh, you haven't gone listen to it?
Yeah, and it's very like ambient and minimalist and kind of electronic, and it's almost like it's just underscore the whole time. There's no like, which they don't do anyway. But if something like Social Network or Girl with a Dragon Tattoo has a very memorable score, I would say, but the music from those is quite, you notice it. You go, oh, that sounds cool. Whereas in this, I don't even remember where there was music. So anyway, it was just interesting.
Well, we do have we do have some follow-up news for something we might get to watch on a streaming service soon.
Okay.
So remember last week we were talking about Coyote versus Acme. That was shelved by Warner Brothers. Going to be a tax write-off. Evidently, because people were complaining, going, and even we were saying we would have watched that.
I knew it.
They're now they're not going to distribute it themselves. They're not going to put it on
legally.
Max or anything. Well, they haven't written it off yet.
Because I don't think they can sell it if they've written it off. I think they were
planning to, but I think they were planning to. But remember, you don't do your taxes in America till April.
Sure.
So I think the plan was there, but they haven't submitted it. So
it's dirty though, because I mean, the story goes they told the filmmakers, "This is done. It's gone. Say goodbye. Like there's nothing that can be done about this."
Which I still don't understand. Like this
so now who the fuck's going to trust them now? A bunch of apparently all their meetings with the directors and filmmakers, they're all cancelling them because they're like.
But I honestly don't understand how you can do this as a tax write-off. Like you filmed it, you've finished it. Like special effects are done. Like you've done test screenings, it's done good. How do you then turn around and go, "No, it's just tax write-off now"? Like it's
the article I put in is a congressman who said we need to look into this because if the fact that they are taking what is a completed film and just writing it off for tax purposes is not something they should be allowed to do. And it's disturbing that they've apparently been doing this for a little while now.
Yeah.
They need to look into that.
Well, good, because I don't understand how that really works. Like it's
so that's not something you should be able to do. Right, that's not how the system's supposed to work.
Like, isn't it meant to be for like something goes wrong and you can't release, so you couldn't finish it because of a reason? And
if you don't reasonably think you can make the money back you spent on it, right? I think that would be. I think.
But I mean,
with this one,
but still, reason to think that.
Making any money is better than nothing. The way I look at it. I mean,
this one, it seems like they couldn't prove that. Because they've got
this isn't some indie movie about like a new story. This is about fucking Roadrunner, a very known character.
It's fucking co-written and produced by James Gunn. This is not not some little, not the Sound of Freedom. Where they can just sweep it under the rug.
I've got that on my list here, and I keep, but I don't want to watch it. That's the problem. And I know. See, the thing is, I'm going to be
fine.
But I don't care. But here's the thing is, I'd be watching it trying to find all these hidden messages and stuff in it that just aren't going to be
They're not there.
No. Because even apparently, I listened to some more stuff, a podcast they were talking about it this week. Even the filmmaker, not the filmmaker, sorry, the guy it's based on has said, I don't buy into all that stuff that Caviezel's talking about with the Hollywood pedos and all that kind of stuff. No. I just went and tried to rescue a bunch of kids from sex traffickers
from South America,
and the movie is about what I did.
Yeah,
that's all. I don't want anything to do with that
lump me
in
with the crazies. Yeah.
Like that woman who was complaining it was a conspiracy theory that because the theater had air conditioning problems, they refunded a ticket. It was all a conspiracy that they're not allowed to watch it.
Because there's one thing theaters hate: it's fucking making money selling tickets to people.
It's people watching the whole movie and not asking for their money back.
Makes no sense.
Like, if they were going to bury it, it just wouldn't be released at all. They're not going to.
They wouldn't have said, "Go sell it somewhere."
Yeah,
go for it. They would have said, "No, it'll be a tax write-off."
Tax write-off.
Yeah. Anyway, so Coyote versus Acme is for sale.
Yeah,
right?
And it looks like
how much do they want for it? We could buy it. We could distribute it
on this YouTube channel.
That's right. Yeah.
Look, from what I've seen, they're like shipping around to like Netflix and Apple, so it looks like it'll go straight to streaming, which I'm happy for. Because I don't think I would go.
I watch movies now.
Yeah,
it sounds excellent. I'll watch it for sure.
Yep.
I think honestly, if you're a streaming service, this is a pretty safe bet now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Snap it up because people will watch this for sure.
And if they weren't going to before, they might now.
Exactly.
Well,
this sounds like it was already pretty good. Now it's an instant success.
Yeah. And you know what you can say? The movie they didn't want you to see.
Yes.
Jim Caviezel can go fucking nuts on this.
You know what else those pedders don't want you to watch? Coyotes.
Yeah.
Will Forte, John Cena.
Cena.
I can't pronounce his name still.
Don't worry about it.
I like him. I don't mind him now. I think he's replacing The Rock for me.
Now. I don't mind him now.
As your favourite actor.
I didn't like him before.
Or just as your favourite wrestler who now is in movies.
As my favourite wrestler who's now in movies, I think he's replaced The Rock now.
What about The Rock? Batista?
What about Andre the Giant?
Well, he's dead.
What about Hulk Hogan?
What Hollywood Hulk
Evidently,
Hogan?
no. When I was sick, I got into like watching a lot of YouTube. Evidently, Hulk Hogan's a bit of a
Say he
dick.
came and visited you in hospital, like everybody else did.
No, Hulk Hogan's a bit of a dick. What I've read.
Is that right?
Yeah, like a lot of the stories that he would like veto storylines in wrestling, and it was all about him, and a lot of the other wrestlers weren't happy about it. But really, if you look at wrestling in the 80s, it was Hulk Hogan. That's the wrestler we knew.
He pretty much. I was about to say he probably had the clout to push back on that at the time. Maybe not now.
But if he didn't
was
like
a terrible
you,
babysitter, though. I saw a documentary where he had to babysit for this suburban family, and that went fucking terribly.
But yeah, if he didn't like you, your career went nowhere.
Right. I was more of a Ricky the Steamboat Dragon fan in that era. So
Ultimate Warrior.
Never watched wrestling.
Actually, neither did I.
No, I didn't either. But there was still
one
one
Rowdy
summer.
Roddy Piper, Luke.
Yeah, but like that's the thing. Like I knew of wrestling and I knew wrestlers, but never watched it because it really wasn't that big here in Australia.
No, not really.
No, I wasn't. Really.
I used to play.
I remember at school they had a
SNES
book
wrestling
of all the
games.
wrestlers because I knew who Andre the Giant was from The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's a wrestler.
Like knew of them, but never really saw any of it.
The toys were pretty big in the 80s, I remember, because you used to be able to get like Hulk Hogan as like a big Stretch Armstrongy type rubber dude.
I remember those. I don't remember. Yeah, I just never saw.
I certainly watched more ads of those toys than I did real wrestling.
Yes.
Except that there was one summer where Bill really got into it, and I was going to Bill's house a lot, and so I just saw a lot of wrestling through those school holidays.
Chunk used to be into wrestling a lot as well.
Chunk was always there too.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then they moved on to the UFC, and not UFC as it is now, but UFC before, when mixed martial arts used to just be like a boxer versus a fucking kung fu guy.
And it was let's find out which of these actually fucking works.
Yeah. And
the answer was always
just who's the biggest and strongest.
I used to like that.
It doesn't matter how good you are at karate. If you're fighting a huge black boxer, you will get punched in the fucking head.
A Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy gets you on the ground, ties you in a fucking knot.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not going to be able to kick him.
But that's why MMA now is just a conglomerate of...
They've found which are the most effective, smush them together.
Yeah.
But I remember people used to say, oh, this is illegal and you can't watch this while they're selling the VHSs in the middle of the plaza, but it's illegal and you can't get it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were selling them off a table. They weren't selling them out of a real shop.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't illegal when you just selling it.
I bought so many horror movies on VHS from those tables in the plaza.
Yeah, I think that's where I got all my copies of all the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah. Nightmare Before Christmas, Nightmare on Elm Street. All sorts of stuff.
Have you seen there's actually been a resurgence in DVD sales lately?
That's
DVD and Blu-rays, because people, what I was reading a few articles about is people starting getting annoyed with streaming services. Like they want to watch something, but it's not there. So DVD and Blu-ray, there's people starting to buy it, so they will be able to watch it when they want.
Yeah, licenses are expiring. I got an email today. This is not the same thing exactly. I got an email today from Google, from the Google News. Right? Apparently, you used to be able to buy magazines on Google News, magazine subscriptions.
Yeah.
I got an email today that said, just FYI, we're shutting that down. So in December, you will lose all your stuff. FYI, bye.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, man. I don't know about buying this digital stuff anymore.
There was something about it too. So we've got a vinyl record player, right? And my daughter's obsessed with it because I mean she knows she can ask fucking Google to start just playing music and the house plays it, but she doesn't care about that. She wants to get the record out, put the needle on and stuff like it's very tactile, right? But my niece, who's just about to turn 13, right? She loves Taylor Swift, as all 13-year-olds.
Oh, she's a Swiftie.
Seem to. She's a Is that what they call them? Swifties?
There's the Swifties.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Fair enough. She's a Swiftie.
A lot of Swifties in Rhode Island.
Is it? Of course there is. Yeah. I drove past her house last time we were there. Do you know what fans
that doesn't sound creepy.
Do you know? Yeah, that's right. Do you know what fans of Benedict Cumberbatch are called? Do you know what they call themselves?
No.
Cumberbitches.
That's fucking awesome.
And I only know this because I was on set once with an actress, they said I was ordering a coffee, and she goes, "Do you take it black with 2 sugars?" And I go, "No, I just have a latte with no sugar." And she goes, Benedict Cumberbatch has black with 2 sugars. That's how he has it. And I was like, "Okay, how do you know that?" And she goes, "Oh, I'm a Cumberbitch." That's great. But anyway, so Swifty wants. My sister was like, "I'm thinking of." She wants to collect stuff, right? But there's nothing to collect anymore. Like if you've got Spotify, well, actually not Spotify because she's not on Spotify, but whatever she's fucking on, right? Like you can't just have stuff anymore, right?
It's all there.
Yeah, so I mean, they still release stuff. So my sisters, because I said to her, I said, why don't you just get her a retro CD player and get her all the albums on CDs so she can have them up on her wall or whatever, and then it feels like you're a real fan because you got all the stuff.
Yeah, because we have a vinyl collection. But I mean, it's not that often at the moment, just with Lear and everything. We have time to just kind of sit down and put a record on necessarily.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I think don't exist anymore? Secret tracks. Remember when you used to buy it like an album and you keep playing and then you'd have that
just on Spotify
15 minutes of dead air and then there'd be a secret track and you'd buy a new album and you get excited to see, is there one? Is that a thing anymore? Do they do that now? I doubt it.
I mean, maybe.
The X-Files soundtrack, on the back it said, don't forget, 0 is a number. So if you were at track 1 and pressed back, there was a secret track the other way.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
and that was very cool.
I remember the Nin album Fixed. Actually, Broken, and I think Fixed as well. Had 99 tracks.
Yes.
So it had like I think the 4 or 5 up to Gave Up or whatever was the 5th one, and then 2 more at 98 and 99.
Yeah. Because this was also the era where I used to put music on when I was going to sleep. And so like the record would end, or the CD would end, and you'd be asleep, and then like 20 minutes later,
that was the Korn album Life is Peachy. The secret track on that is a cappella version, I'm doing quotes, of Twist. The one where it's just him going yeah. So that'll wake you up.
If there's one thing about Korn that I wouldn't have just on its own, it's Jonathan Davis' voice.
I think his voice fits very well in the band.
Yes.
Maybe just because I'm so used to it. But
that's what it is.
Their sound,
his voice is Korn.
It's just so nostalgic to me. Even the new album, I listen to the new stuff, and it just like it just sounds like Korn. I love it.
Does
it? It makes me.
How
feel
many
like
the original musicians are there still?
Probably him.
I think it's only
can't be all of them.
Oh, I feel he's on hiatus.
Which one became a born again Christian and decided that metal was evil?
Brian, but he's back now.
He's back, is he?
Yeah. He still is a Christian apparently, but he's back.
Yeah.
And you can go see him for
Cat
$20
Stevens when he became a Muslim and decided,
that's right,
Allah doesn't allow me to play music, and then he found a loophole in the Quran, and he was like, "Oh fuck it, I'll release some more albums.
It'll be fine."
Yeah.
Because you can go see, they still play over in America, don't they? And you can see them like pretty cheap.
Korn,
yeah,
I've seen Korn. I think I've seen Korn 3 or 4 times since we moved. Yeah,
really.
Whereas
here,
Rob Zombie too.
Be a fortune.
Although I saw Rob Zombie a bunch of times. For some reason, Rob Zombie was just out in Australia a bunch before we moved. I saw him like 3 or 4 times, and then. But yeah, I've seen Korn a bunch. Also, concerts are fucking nice and cheap here too.
Yeah. And they do more, so they're smaller, right? Because they'll do every city.
Yeah. Whereas here, tickets start at now like $250.
Yeah, and there's only 5 cities in Australia that have stadiums in them, so you have to go to see one of them. They don't.
I've been playing a game this week, and I finished it.
Oh, wow.
I know I mentioned it to you guys already, but I thought...
Yeah, so it turns out I've had this on GOG for 2 years, and I've not played it.
You should. Have you started it yet or no?
No. Never put it on. Not sure I even downloaded it.
This is Return of the Obra Dinn. It's an indie game. It's by the guy who made Papers, Please, which is another excellent game that you should check out if you haven't already. It is a, I guess I don't know what you'd call the graphical style. It's like basically there's two. It's a 3D game, but it's only in 2 color, and you can choose.
If they had 3D
menu,
on the Apple II, it would have looked like this.
Yeah.
When you go into the options menu, you can choose the color palette, and they're all. It's like Macintosh, Apple II.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, so there's like a light blue, dark blue Commodore looking one.
That got him. He wasn't going to play it until you said that. Now he's in.
No, it's good. And the premise is, so it's a 3D game, but it's not an action game. Actually, the reviews for it are quite funny on Steam. I had a look afterwards. So it's you are an insurance assessor, and it's set in 1906 or 7 or something like that. Anyway, the Obra Dinn was a ship that left England, disappeared for I forget how long. Anyway, it just turns up one day, and
did you just turn on your Xbox?
Maybe.
I'm sorry, am I boring you?
Yeah, the lights just go out.
Oh, I'm buying it right now.
It's $30 on Switch. I've noticed. Is it worth $30 to play it on a preferred platform if I've already bought it on
I think
PC?
So. Yeah, I mean it's not a long game, but it is very good. I really enjoyed it.
We can go into
so you get sent to assess. You're an insurance assessor. You get sent to basically figure out what happened.
So the ships come back.
Yeah, it just floats into harbor.
Everyone on board dead.
Yes. Well, when you get on there, right? You've been given some stuff by the person who hired you. You've got a book that has a map and a list of the crew and various other things, and you've been given a compass with a skull on it. And you basically, when you first get on the ship, there's only one body visible. You go over, you use the compass. The compass allows you to walk around in a freeze frame of that person's last moment.
Ooh.
So you can see how they died.
That reminds me of what's the Froggy McFrog, the Sherlock Holmes and the Sinking City.
Frogwares.
City games do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when you do that, it will then reveal the location of the next body. I'm simplifying it. There's a little more to it than that. But basically from there, and so eventually, as you've uncovered all of the bodies, you have everything you need to fill in the book to say, who is this person? How did they die? And if that's a factor, who or what killed them? Like they died. They were shot by whom? They were, whatever.
This sounds very good. And I think it's funny though that this dev was like, okay, I've made a movie about stamping people's passports. What's just as exciting as that? Maritime insurance.
But it's very cool. It's got it's like supernatural stuff, obviously from the pocket watch, but more than that too. The compass, and it's quite difficult in parts. I didn't have to cheat or anything, which is nice. I think it's a valid technique is just to when you think you've got 2 of them correct, you can and all but the name of one, you can kind of just pick names, because what happens is if you get 3 correct, it will tell you. A message pops up that says 3 fates correct, and then it will inscribe them in the book permanently, and then you know who those people are, and that helps you deduce other things. Because you go, I know who that is, and he killed him, so now I can fill in the bit about who killed him and that kind of stuff.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. And something else to say. Oh, the reviews, right? So I went on Steam afterwards because I was like, what do people think of this game? Because I really liked it. It's overwhelmingly positive, but just for fun, I flicked to the negative reviews. People saying, oh, if you walking around looking at clues and trying to solve mysteries an actual real life detective, not a video game detective, that actually do work, then this might be for you. And then someone said, I'm not lying to you. At one point, I had to match someone's name by the color of their socks. In one memory versus another. And I was like, yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I love it when bad reviews make you want to see the movie. Two come or game, but in my case, 2 movies come up. Remember when they did that 4th Rambo movie in 2009, somewhere like that?
Yeah. It was just Rambo, wasn't it? Or
so there was maybe, but there was a review that just said, don't see this. There's no story. It's literally just wall-to-wall action. I'm like, literally wall-to-wall action is not a bad review of a Rambo movie. I'm getting it. Yeah. And the other one was Drive, which wasn't even on my radar, but I fucking love.
Drive, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. But before I'd seen it, somebody was like, put a review online that said, I went to see this thinking that I was going to see something adjacent to Fast and the Furious, but I actually saw this like dark existential drama about one man's quest against the world. I'm like, okay, well, this sounds fucking great the way you're describing it.
I have now installed Return of the Obra Dinn.
Good.
And I also have a walkthrough here ready to go.
Oh, fuck.
So I'm ready.
I mean,
you can still enjoy the game with a walkthrough. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I don't see. I'll be interested to hear if you do, just because I feel like the solving of the puzzles is the game.
I don't have time for that.
There's not a lot to it other than that.
Because
the mechanics itself all kind of just enable you.
Well, I'll try and play
deduce things.
I'll try and play it first.
Sure. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, it's very good.
I listened to last week's show, expecting to hear a conversation about the Steam Deck. Was that offline that we chatted about the Steam Deck last week?
No, it might have been an after party. Was it?
No, I listened to the after party as well. Maybe we had stopped recording.
No, we talked about the Steam
we were talking
Deck.
about it. Yeah, we were online talking about. Yeah, that was part of the podcast.
Okay, maybe I didn't listen to all of it.
We're talking about my AO Neo.
I've not been able to think about anything else since. Just keep thinking about the fucking Steam Deck. How much I want one.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking about it because 2 reasons. Number one, I never play the Xbox anymore. I never ever play the Xbox. And I don't play games on PC because my PC is garbage.
Okay,
right?
so
I only play on the Switch. And anytime a new game comes out that I want to play, my first question is it on the Switch? Which is almost always no. And I'm sure, is it on Steam Deck? Has yes as the answer.
Maybe go and have a look. Can you go and Steam and check?
Oh, I bet what games? Yeah, no, I have been.
Yeah.
What I really would like to do is actually
lot.
get my hands on one and play it, but you can't because they're not actually available.
I mean, I'd like to have one too, Dan. What I really like is just to have one.
It's just to have one.
On
Yeah.
They're not available in Australia.
You're listening to the show. What we'd really like is just to have Steam Decks.
Yes.
That's right. Three Steam Decks.
Yeah, you can get them in Australia.
You can.
They're all
There's no infrastructure to get them repaired if you.
No, so if anything goes wrong, you're a bit screwed. But you get them through like Kogan and stuff, like $1,500, and
yeah, you can get the 64 gig one from Amazon for $800, which I think is pretty good because you can always top up your hard disk space with a memory card.
That sounds like a lot to me, but that's. I mean, the dollar.
Well, also, I don't play multiple games at once. I'm more than happy to just have them in the library, not downloaded onto the device. So,
yeah, right. Install them as you're going to play them.
Yeah, and then uninstall when you're finished. That doesn't bother me.
64 gig is not enough.
I mean, it wouldn't. Yeah, I mean,
tell you right now, it is not.
I don't think you'd fit Baldur's Gate 3 on it.
I was about to say like the Xbox has a terabyte, right? And I'm constantly having to delete games.
Yeah,
get
64 gig is nowhere near enough for some games.
I think that if you buy the 64 gig one, they're assuming you're also putting in an SD card to have more room, and you just couldn't afford to buy the.
You'd have to
pay the extra $300 to get the next one up.
Yeah, you'd be better off getting.
But also because they've announced the OLED one, people are selling their current ones. Not for cheap. They're essentially selling them for, but I could get a terabyte one for the price of a new 64 gig one.
I'd get a terabyte one.
I'm thinking about it. But I'd have to sell my Switch and my Xbox to get it.
Oh, it's risky.
So it'd be a big commitment. Now, and if it wasn't for the fact, exactly. All the games I've already purchased and
gone. Never be able to play it again.
That's right. So,
we still have a Switch
unless I bought a new one,
right? It'd just be your Switch. Don't you have two? You have a Switch each, don't you?
We do have two Switches. Well, I've got this OLED Switch, and Hui has the Switch Lite.
Sell hers.
Okay. Sell Charlie.
Yeah. Just sell her, mate.
Yeah.
Look, I'm happy I got a good
once you've got a Switch, a Steam Deck.
Look, I'm happy I got my really good tax return a couple of years ago, and I got an AO Neo next when I did because I'm now starting to use that a lot more. And I think it's got a bit more freedom than a Steam Deck because it just runs Windows.
Yeah, but I'm not fussed about doing anything but gaming on this, right?
Yeah.
And
No,
obviously
but
it
mean, it can play more than a Steam Deck.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
well,
sure,
I mean,
because it's not
Steam's
Linux. Yeah.
Steam's plan is to get everything on Steam to work on these eventually.
I mean, they're doing a good job of it. I think some games, even like Dune Spice Wars, I think the problem is that it's like hard to control without a mouse.
Yes.
And keyboard. I think that's the biggest issue with games like that.
So for that, if you're actually going to play that, you're better off just to plug it in and use that as a PC,
which you can do
as a keyboard. I tried playing that with the controller, and it's just nah.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not designed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because it just came back on the Game Pass again.
I saw a video of how you play Baldur's Gate on the PlayStation, and it blew my fucking mind. I don't understand it. I'm sure if I played it, it would, but because
just you're used to keyboard and mouse.
I've got a keyboard and a mouse, and I'm playing it. I'm pushing buttons and whatnot. And I saw you have this radial system to control the spells, and I was just like, what the fuck is that? Like, just because it surprised me because I wasn't expecting to see it. And then someone was like, "Oh, cast a spell," and it went, like pulled up this menu, and it went here and this, and I was like,
"Oh, right,
Jesus, all right, pretty cool." So I guess you get to do that on the Xbox in December. Luke, they said
December. It's coming out this year.
Baldur's Gate 3, Xbox, December,
and you can plug in a mouse and keyboard, and away you go.
Oh, you can. That's cool.
And I'll finally get to fuck a bear.
That's right. Or the bear will fuck you.
And then play Baldur's Gate.
That's a real good game.
I can't wait to play it. I really can't. But I'm going to finish Alan Wake first, and then I'll return to Turn. Then I've also got Power Wash Simulator to play. There's at least more DLC for that.
Forget all that shit and forget the Steam Deck. Forget all that. You've got to turn the Xbox on. The game of the year came out today. Bluey.
Oh, it did.
Is that out now? Is it?
Actually, that's on Switch. It's on Switch too. Actually, if you want.
I did see that, and I honestly honestly can't justify the price for it. I'm going to wait for it to go on sale.
How is it full price? Is it
60?
It's 40. Oh, 40 here. I haven't played it yet. We got it. So Jenna could play it with Lyra today, and they were playing it. And I haven't looked into this too much, but I did say to her earlier on. I said, as an adult, would you play it, or is it just a kid's game? And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't." Lyra was just clicking,
just mashing it.
So,
yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I'll check it out. Speaking of kids things, I encountered something strange recently. So people have been telling me, "Oh, if you like Bluey, your daughter will love Peppa Pig." Right? And I was like,
people have been telling me the opposite. Don't let her watch that shit.
Okay, so here's the thing.
Same thing.
Right? So I popped it on, right? And was watching it, and I was like, this is garbage. This is fucking garbage. And other than the fact that it's about a family of animals living their lives day to day, it's nothing to do with fucking Bluey. It's not even in the same thing, right?
Not the same country.
Yeah, that's right. But Harper liked it, so whatever. Sure. So it's on, right? And I saw a bit more. And occasionally, I would kind of hear something. I'll be like, "Oh, that's pretty funny." And then the more I watched, I'm like, "Actually, this is actually quite good. Have I just misjudged this, right?" And then as I watched more of it and I got to know it, some episodes, and we're watching all of these on YouTube because it's just episode after episode on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, this doesn't seem right. These characters are acting differently. And then as I got to know it more, I was like, that's not even the right voice for that character. What is going on? So I went online. There is third-party Peppa Pig episodes.
What?
Right? That's what you've been watching.
That are official in the sense that they are officially licensed. They're not pirated. Right?
Okay, so it's not a rip-off of someone just...
It's not a rip-off. Basically, if you wanted to make your own Peppa Pig shows, you can go to Peppa Pig Inc. and say, I want to make some, and pay the money and then make your own. And they've copied, it's a very rudimentary art style, so they can copy that and it looks perfect. But of course, you don't have their voice actors, you don't have their musician to do the score. You know,
we don't need them. Sorry, who do I email then?
That's right. But that's why. So when you watch the actual show Peppa Pig, it is very well written, very well performed. The characters are very good. It makes me laugh out loud quite often. but just make sure you're watching the actual official fucking Peppa Pig.
I've played the Peppa Pig game.
Okay.
If
With a
Peppa Pig's
walkthrough?
giving you a Bitcoin address and telling you to transfer money, it might not be an official episode.
I'll tell you right now, you do not need a walkthrough for the Peppa Pig game.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But how often does that happen? Like,
Yeah,
imagine that. Imagine there was just
Yeah,
like,
it's
oh,
pretty
I'm watching a Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but it's not Sarah Michelle Gellar. Like, it's someone else.
Some guy in a wig.
Yeah.
No, that's a stunt double.
Yeah, but it's got the real. Yeah, that's right. But it's got the actual theme, and got the like it's not a rip-off. It's
cuts
an official.
To other footage of Anthony Head responding to things like
yeah.
On kids shows still. We watch. Lyra watches a bunch of different stuff. She watches Puppy Dog Pals. She watches Pupstruction, which is on Disney Plus.
Paw Patrol?
No, not Paw Patrol. It's not on
Paw
there,
Patrol's
which isn't-
great. Paw Patrol is so
Is
good.
it? Huh.
Mhm.
She watches Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and a few other things.
Go Donald.
And then, yes, she loves Donald, actually.
Yeah, Harper loves Donald as well. What is
Donald's
with that?
great.
All kids and Luke love
Mhm.
Donald. So we noticed, I think it was just the first one. It might have been the Puppy Dog Pals theme song. I noticed Lyra wanted to listen to it in the car, and I noticed it was by Rob Cantor, who you will know from Actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf and Christian Bale is at your party.
Mhm.
Right? And I was like, oh shit. And I said to Jenna, did you know Rob Cantor did the Puppy Dog Pals? And she was like, oh shit, that's weird. Like, good on him. Anyway, she texted me a couple of days
He's
ago.
got to make a living.
Yeah.
And she said, guess who did the fucking music for Pupstruction, Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, all of these shows she watches? Fucking Rob Cantor.
Wow.
So
that's his day job.
That's
he
his
just
day
does
job.
Shia LaBeouf Actual Cannibal on the weekends.
Yeah. That like blew my mind. Like, I mean, that's why the songs are so catchy. Because we always, the Pupstruction theme song is fucking catchy as hell. We're always singing it. Like,
which one?
Whoa.
Pupstruction.
Whoa. Whoa. It's time to build. Pupstruction. Yeah.
I've never even heard of this show.
No. First time I've heard of it.
It's on Disney Plus or Hulu, I guess.
Oh, look. We don't watch
your
much
country.
Disney Plus, actually.
They're going to smush the... Oh, no, wait, you don't have Hulu. It's the other way around.
Yeah,
you only have Disney Plus.
We've only got Disney Plus.
They're smushing them together here too next year.
Someone's buying Hulu, though, right? Hulu's up.
I think Disney bought them. Yeah.
Oh, Disney already bought them. Okay.
That's why we've got everything on the one.
Speaking of Hulu, Welcome to Wrexham, season 2 wrapped up the other day. It's pretty good.
Probably watch it. Didn't watch season 1. Don't like soccer. Won't watch.
It's not really about soccer, though, is it?
Don't care.
No, it isn't. It isn't. It's pretty good.
Don't have
I
time.
remember watching the first couple of
Survivor.
episodes where they're like talking about like how stressful it was, like because they have to vote on it, and the town has to vote on whether we're going to let these celebrities buy it because they've been burnt before. And
Yeah, it's interesting because you get to know the people and the stories and the town, and just these people in this town fucking love this team and this game, and they get so emotional. It just kind of gets, it's like interesting, even if you don't care about it. It's just interesting to see just how much these people fucking care about this thing.
Yeah,
pretty cool. And then they're like, well, you fucking want Ryan Reynolds? Like,
Amazing.
like there's one guy gets like they're in the pub and this guy's getting drunk. And this guy's just like, fucking, you need to do this, you need to do that, you do this. And Ryan Reynolds is like, wow, okay. You like this when you wake up in the morning?
That's Luke's favorite actor you're talking about, Matt.
I know. That's why he's seen it.
For more of Luke's favorite things, join us in the after party. Go to
What's the after party?
patreon.com/multiple nerdgasm and sign up at a certain tier. You can just continue listening to the show beyond the end of the main
$10 a
show.
month, this show doesn't end. And last week, it was basically a whole nother fucking episode.
It was.
That is true.
We just didn't stop
But
talking.
also, just before we do go, I do need to remind people, I'm going for a tattoo in 2 weeks. I still need ideas. So please, let me know what I should get tattooed on my body forever.
And then we've
I'd
done this
say
before,
pictures
but
of
it
me
can't
and
be
Matt,
us.
except he's already got that.
us. He's already got us.
Yep.
He's already got most of the video games you're going to think of. You're going to have to be original.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to have to really think about it.
Because, it's like 2 weeks away and I've got nothing.
Okay. Maybe we'll come up with something in the after party.
Maybe.
I'll see you guys
Do you have the Southern Cross on you anyway?
I'm not getting a Southern Cross or a Ned Kelly tattoo.
Southern Cross made of frangipanis.
Southern Cross made of little Ned Kelly heads.
I do not understand Australia's fascination with Ned Kelly. He was just a criminal.
He was portrayed by Heath Ledger. That's probably something to do with it.
He was just a criminal. He didn't do anything good. He killed people and stole money.
Cool helmet.
They do like to try to make him the Robin Hood of Outback Australia,
But he
don't
wasn't.
they? But he wasn't. No, he was a thief
I
and a
prefer-
fucking murderer.
Yes.
I prefer Reckless Kelly.
Yeah.
Reckless Kelly, yep. With Yahoo Serious.
He was reckless.
Non-Australians, if you don't know who Yahoo Serious is, look him up.
Yep.
You're welcome.
That's all for this week. Thank you for listening and we hope you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe in iTunes to receive episodes automatically. We'll see you next time.